The world of Karen 4 is not a place where you die. It is a place where you are recycled. The atmosphere is a thick, humid soup of spores and pheromones, and the canopy is so dense that the sun is just a memory. This is the empire of the neuroparasites. They are not mindless beasts. They are the needle-wasps, four-winged horrors the size of wolves, equipped with hollow, serrated stingers. They do not hunt for meat. They hunt for nervous systems. When a wasp strikes, it injects a cluster of microscopic eggs directly into the spinal column. Within minutes, the eggs hatch and the larvae weave themselves into the host's brain. You do not die. You just become a passenger in your own body, a biological puppet forced to walk back to the hive spire to feed the brood mother. The initial colonization attempts were a disaster. We sent soldiers in heavy power armor, but the wasps found the joints. They found the seals. A single sting was all it took. We watched our best men and women turn their guns on each other, clearing a path for the swarm to enter the habitats. The architect had nothing on these things. This was evolution at its most cruel. The wasps didn't want to break us. They wanted to wear us. But the Federation found a way to turn the cycle around. If the wasps wanted our blood, we would give them something they couldn't digest. We created the 5th Chemstrike Division, the Internal-Scorchers. We do not wear heavy armor. We wear light, porous environmental suits that leave our necks and joints exposed. We are the bait. Before we drop into the green hell, we drink the Prometheus cocktail. It is a terrifying mixture of concentrated neurotoxins, liquid magnesium, and highly reactive isotopes. To any other creature, it is instant death. But the Scorchers are survivors of extreme bioaugmentation. Our organs have been hardened, our veins lined with synthetic polymers. We carry the poison in our blood. We are walking, breathing chemical bombs. To a neuroparasite, we look like the perfect hosts. But the moment they bite, they find out that we are the ones who are consuming them. I am Sergeant Elias Reed. My blood is currently 98 degrees and rising. And I am ready to feed the hive. The drop into the heart sink was a blur of emerald shadows and the deafening roar of the swarm. We didn't use parachutes. We used grav chutes to slam into the mud at 70 miles per hour. The moment my boots hit the muck, the chittering started. It was a sound like a million dry sticks snapping at once. Check your levels, I said over the comms. My voice felt like sandpaper. The cocktail was already working, making my skin itch and my vision pulse with an orange tint. Unit 2, Sarah. Levels at 80%. My heart feels like a jackhammer, Elias. Unit 3, Jax, I can taste the copper. Bring on the bugs. We were 3 miles from the primary hive spire, a towering mountain of hardened resin and bone that stretched into the clouds. The air was thick with the wasps. They were hanging from the giant, weeping trees, their translucent wings vibrating with anticipation. They could smell us. They could smell the heat of our bodies. Move out. Keep your eyes on the canopy, I ordered. We moved in a staggered formation. We carried short-range carbines, but they were mostly for show. The real work was going to happen when they got close. The first wasp dove from a height of 60 feet. It was a blur of brown and silver. It hit Jax from the side, its massive legs pinning him to a moss-covered log. I watched as the hollow stinger, a foot long and jagged as a saw, plunged into Jax's thigh. Jax didn't scream. He grinned. Through the translucent skin of the wasp, I saw the eggs being pumped into Jax's leg. But the moment the parasites touched his blood, the reaction was catastrophic. The Prometheus cocktail reacted with the wasp's internal chemistry like a match hitting a pool of gasoline. The wasp's head exploded in a spray of glowing green ichor. The eggs inside its belly turned into black ash instantly. Jax pushed the twitching carcass off him, his leg wound glowing with a fierce orange light. The cocktail was cauterizing the injury from the inside out, the synthetic polymers in his blood sealing the hole before he could bleed out. One down, Jax panted, his eyes glowing with the same orange fire. Who was next? The swarm realized something was wrong. They stopped the individual strikes and began a coordinated assault. Hundreds of wasps rose from the ferns, forming a living cloud of wings and stingers. They dove at us from all angles. Circle up. Let them sting. I roared. We dropped our guns and drew our combat knives. It was a visceral, bloody melee. A wasp slammed into my chest, its claws tearing through my suit. I felt the sharp, cold sting as its needle entered my shoulder. For a millisecond, there was a sensation of foreign bodies entering my vein. Then the Scorcher's blood took over. I felt a surge of heat so intense it nearly blacked me out. The toxin in my blood detected the intrusion and ignited. A geyser of pressurized, glowing acid erupted from my shoulder, spraying directly into the wasp's face. The creature shrieked, its chitinous mask melting and curling as the acid ate through its brain. I grabbed its wings and tore them off, using the dying insect as a club to knock another one out of the air. Around me, Sarah and Jax were beacons of orange light in the dark jungle. Every time a wasp stung them, the bug died in a spray of chemical fire. We were a slaughterhouse. The mud was becoming a glowing green swamp of dead parasites. The wasps were frantic, driven by a biological compulsion to infect us, but every success was a suicide. We pushed toward the spire. The ground was now a carpet of writhing, dying insects. The air was filled with the smell of burnt vinegar and ozone. We reached the base of the hive spire, a massive opening that exhaled a warm, sickening scent of rot and honey. The broodmother is inside. If we take her out, the swarm loses its direction, I said. We entered the spire. The walls were pulsating, lined with thousands of gestating pods. Inside each pod, a human or animal host was being slowly consumed. It was a cathedral of horror. In the center of the chamber, the broodmother hung from the ceiling. She was 20 feet long, a bloated, pale nightmare with 100 eyes and a stinger the size of a spear. She saw us. She didn't send her soldiers. She dropped from the ceiling, her massive weight shaking the floor. She moved with a speed that defied her size, her jagged legs scything through the air. Sarah dived to the left, but the mother was faster. A claw caught Sarah in the waist, tossing her across the room into a pile of resin. Jax tried to intervene, but the mother swung her massive tail, the spear-point stinger whistling through the air. It was my turn. I charged the beast. I didn't aim for her eyes. I aimed for her mouth. As she lunged at me, I dropped my knife and threw my arms wide. "Eat me, you bitch!" I screamed. The mother didn't hesitate. She plunged her primary stinger directly into my chest, the cold steel of the needle passing through my lung. I felt the massive pressure as she began to pump thousands of eggs into my body. She thought she had won. She thought she had found the ultimate host to seed her new empire. She was wrong. I grabbed the stinger with both hands, pinning myself to it. I forced my heart to beat faster, pushing the concentration of the Prometheus cocktail to its absolute limit. I felt my skin beginning to blister. I felt the liquid magnesium in my veins reaching the boiling point. The reaction was like a volcanic eruption. The glowing orange fire of my blood surged up the hollow stinger and into the broodmother's massive egg-filled abdomen. Through her translucent skin, I watched the fire spread. The eggs detonated in a chain reaction of chemical explosions. The broodmother shrieked, a sound so loud it shattered the resin pods on the walls. Green fire and orange acid erupted from every pore of her body. She began to melt from the inside out, her massive form collapsing into a pile of smoking, glowing sludge. I pulled myself off the stinger as she fell. I hit the floor, gasping for air, the orange fire in my veins slowly cooling to a dull thrum. My chest wound was already sealing, the synthetic blood turning into a hard, protective scab. Jax and Sarah crawled toward me. Sarah was clutching her side, her veins still glowing, but she was alive. Is she dead?" Jax asked, looking at the steaming remains of the mother. I looked around. The chittering in the walls had stopped. The pulsating pods had gone still. Without the mother's psychic signal, the larvae were dying. The swarm outside would be wandering aimlessly, unable to hunt, unable to reproduce. "She is gone," I said. And she took her children with her. We walked out of the spire. The jungle was quiet for the first time in years. The green mist was settling, and the orange glow of our veins was the only light in the dark. We had lost our memories, our futures, and our humanity to the cocktail, but we had kept the world. Humanity has proven the ultimate truth of the Apex Protocol. You can try to infect us. You can try to turn us into puppets. You can try to use our bodies as a nursery for your nightmares. But we will turn our own life force into a weapon. We will poison our own blood just to see you choke on it. We are the Internal-Scorchers. We are the ones who burn the hive from the inside. The broodmother is ash. The swarm is broken. Karen 4 is silent. The mission is over. We are going back to the drop zone. And I am never drinking that stuff again.